You are Locked On Warriors POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Warriors Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other post-game shows that we do here on the Locked On Sports Network. But man, tonight, what an exciting game from start to finish. And oh my God, Steph Curry, you are ridiculous. The Warriors gutted this one out tonight over the Grizzlies just by the skin of their teeth, 134-125, but much closer than that final score might indicate. And they were led by the greatest shooter of all time, as Stephen Curry splashed in 52 points and willed the Warriors to victory on his back. Steph Curry approached the NBA's all-time record for threes made in a single game, but fell just short of it, but did pass Jerry West for 25th all-time in scoring in NBA history. Also gathered a ton of other accolades tonight with this amazing game that he played. This was the single biggest game of the season so far, and the Warriors now own sole possession of the 5th seed in the Western Conference. An absolutely massive, massive, massive win. We'll break it all down, but first I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Warriors podcast feed, and make sure to check out the Locked On Warriors Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. And as I said, man, Steph, just insanity tonight. This guy, I mean, even by halftime, he had just been just a barrage of three-pointers. He was willing the Warriors to victory. He just was, I mean, killing them from everywhere on the court, but especially from distance. By halftime, he had 30-plus points, 15th game with 11-plus three-pointers, 146th time he had made at least 7 threes in the game, and he made 8 of them in that first half. Steph was just going bonkers all night long. But hey, credit the Memphis Grizzlies because they hung tough with the dubs. I mean, they were right there with the Warriors through this whole game. The Warriors finally stepped up that defense in the fourth quarter. I think in the fourth quarter, both teams started to slow down a little bit just because of the frenetic pace that we had for the first 3 quarters. It just was unsustainable for either team. Both teams started to get a little flat, started to not get out in fast breaks as much, but the Warriors, credit the Warriors and guys like Jimmy Butler and also Steph, who did a great job getting to the line tonight, for slowing that game down and capitalizing on their free throws as we got down to the wire here in the fourth quarter. Jimmy and Steph combined for 20 of 20 from the free throw line tonight. The Warriors as a team combined for 28 for 28 from the line. They go 100% shooting from the free throw line. You guys remember the days back at the beginning of the season when the Warriors were hovering around like 65% free throw shooting? Not me, baby. Not after this type of win. The Warriors just, I mean, proven to everybody that they are in postseason mode right now. And that is the best thing that you could expect from this team right now. Only 4 Warriors in double figures, but the 3 who really stepped up are the 3 you'd expect. Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. All 3 of those guys had major, major impacts on this one tonight. Steph, not just doing it offensively, he had 10 rebounds as well. He also had an offensive rebound and a putback early on in this one. So double-double for Steph. He also had 8 assists. Dude was doing everything for the Warriors tonight, and not done yet. 5 steals. 5 steals to go with this stat line. I mean, just an absolutely bonkers stat line for Steph Curry tonight. And the play on the floor was even better than the stat line suggests, if I dare even say that. Jimmy Butler also had a very good game, 27 points, 3 steals for him, 4 assists and 6 boards. Draymond Green, as I said, triple-double, 13 points for Draymond, 12 assists and 10 boards for Draymond. Also had 2 steals and a block. Steph also had a block in this one, man. Dude was, I mean, playing out of his mind. If you didn't think that this was a big game for some just weird reason, if you thought this might not be the most important game of the Warriors season today, then just look at how these guys played. they stepped up and played like their lives depended on it, because in a way they really do. With the win, the Warriors now overtake the Memphis Grizzlies by a half a game to own sole possession of that 5th seed, as I mentioned. And probably more importantly, they now own the season tiebreaker against the Grizzlies. They also own it against the Timberwolves. So the Warriors really doing everything they can right now to cement themselves into the playoffs and stay out of the play-in. Now, there's a lot coming up next. We know the Warriors schedule gets pretty insane. They got the Lakers on Thursday. That becomes now the next most important game of this season. Then they play Denver, and when they do that, that will probably be the most important game of the season to date. And then following that, they get the Houston Rockets, which again, following that game against Denver will be likely the most important Warriors game of the season to date. They're all important at this point. The Warriors playoffs start tonight. I mean, essentially the playoff schedule starts right now, if it didn't already start on that road trip after they dropped the first 2 games of this roadie. One more game away from Chase Center before you finally get back home. They've been on the road since March. They played their first game in Atlanta March 22nd. So this is like damn near half a month where the Warriors are on the road, and they've done pretty well for themselves on this road trip, despite starting it with all these injuries. And what makes this win even more impressive to me tonight is that they did not have Jonathan Kuminga. They did not have Gary Payton II. They did this without 2 of their most vital role players. And we know how marginal the Warriors margins are, how slim their margins are. Basically, they need everybody on this team, all hands on deck, everybody that's a major contributor to stay healthy in order to maintain where they're at and the level of play that they've been showing. Even without 2 of their most important role players, they still managed to get it done versus the Grizzlies. And man, the Grizzlies were shooting the lights out for a lot of this game. They were shooting over 50% for the majority of the game. But in that 4th quarter, the Warriors put the defense on them. They went from 32 points in the first, 34 points in the second, 37 points in the third. So they're climbing. The Grizzlies were quarter by quarter in their scoring, 22 points in the 4th quarter. We saw the Warriors do this in their last time out as well, really putting the clamps down on them in the 4th quarter. So this was a great win. The Grizzlies really good at home this year. This was just their 14th loss. They're 25-14 now at home. And the Warriors had lost 7 of their last 8 on the road in Memphis coming into tonight. So this was just a massive win for the Warriors. As I said, 146th time Steph has made at least 7 threes in a game. That's damn near 2 full seasons of basketball. This is one of those nights where you just kind of take a minute and you just take a breath and realize what you are watching. This is, in my opinion, I know we got LeBron down there in LA. I know Michael Jordan exists. I know all of these things. If you ask me who the greatest basketball player is of all time, Steph might not pass those guys, but he's in the conversation. Absolutely is in the conversation. I don't care where he ranks in all-time scoring. There's been no player to impact the game the way that he does. Not a single player in NBA history has changed the way that the floor is spaced, has changed the way that you defend players coming across half court. You have to pick up Steph on a night like tonight at the logo. Otherwise, he's pulling up and splashing it in on your head. And this is one of those nights where you just sit back and appreciate greatness. Steph Curry is greatness personified. He's not going to be here forever. Dude's over 35 years old, still doing it. And I mean, there's so many accolades associated with that. So most 50-point games in NBA history by a player after turning 35. Oldest player in NBA history with 50-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 8-plus assists in a game. The next oldest guy to do that was Wilt Chamberlain at 31. Steph's 37 doing this. So, I mean, just absolutely insane. He also passes LeBron James for 50-point games all time. Dude is just going bonkers still at this age with this many miles on his body, with all that he's proven. And he's still out here doing it, man. Steph Curry is an absolute blessing to Warriors fans, and we need to appreciate every piece of greatness that he still gives us. I mean, just an insane game from Curry tonight, man. I'm just in absolute awe. Let's just do it right now. Let's give him our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And of course, it's Stephen Curry. I mean, it's a no-brainer. The easiest no-brainer player of the game of all time in Locked On Sports player of the game history. I mean, this was such a masterpiece by Stephen Curry. And you even heard Kalena say it on the broadcast. He's an artist, man. He's an artist, and just appreciate what he is giving us as basketball fans. There's no better player in the NBA right now. There's no player that I would rather watch than Stephen Curry. Every single night, this guy is just amazing, and continues to prove that he can do it at 37 years old. People always talk about LeBron and how it's amazing what he's doing at age 40, and I'm not taking anything away from that, but Steph Curry is right there with him, man. Stick with us. We got a lot more to get into, like tonight's turning point and what you'll be talking about. That's next on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Today's show is sponsored by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. There's so many surprising insights on Monarch Money. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery, and now I budget smarter and save more. Right after this show, I'm eating my meal prep that's sitting in that fridge, and you better believe I am starving right now. And it also gives you all-in-one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Today's show is also sponsored by Prize Picks. Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With Prize Picks, you pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and if you're right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, or dare I say, the more than on Steph Curry threes tonight. Hope that's what you were going with. Prize Picks keeps every game exciting. I love watching the Warriors out there right now. I'm also mixing and matching because you can do that. I'm taking some Giants, some Warriors. Giants won today too, by the way. And I'm mixing and matching it and crafting all sorts of different lineups. And, I've been pretty good so far this year. There's so many exclusive promos like today, Taco Tuesday. I always take advantage of Taco Tuesday, where Prize Picks offers discounts on select player projections for even more value. Download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONNBA and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. And today's show is sponsored by Game Time. There's nothing like watching basketball live. The energy of the crowd, the sound of the sneakers on the hardwood, and maybe even a celebrity sighting courtside or a Steph Curry 50-point game. If you want to catch the game in person, Game Time makes getting tickets right now easier than ever. Game Time's new feature, Game Time Picks, filters out the fluff and shows you only the best deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time scrolling through thousands of tickets. I just checked Game Time's app for this upcoming Warriors homestand. There are amazing deals on some huge matchups, and talk about huge matchups. The Warriors have so many big ones coming down the stretch. Get your butt to Chase Center and go see the Dubs. What better time than right now? Steph is on a heater. The Warriors are in the thick of the playoff race. This is the time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Welcome back to the Locked On Warriors postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and tonight the Warriors outlast the Grizzlies, outlive, outlast, outplay. Not just the tagline for Survivor, but the tagline for the Warriors in this game against the Grizzlies, and they had to have it. The 134-125 win was huge, the biggest single win of this season for the Warriors, and obviously we're just ruminating in the greatness that is Stephen Curry and his 52 points. 16 of 31 from the field, 12 of 20 from three. How do you make 12 3-pointers and shoot I mean, that well from distance. That's just crazy to me. He was also perfect from the free throw line, 8 of 8, had a double-double, 10 boards, almost had a triple-double, almost messed around. Had 8 assists and 5 steals as well, and a block. There isn't a single thing this guy didn't do well tonight. We already gave him our player of the game, but we gotta get you what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And obviously, you're going to be talking about Steph's 52-point game. That is clear. You're going to be talking about the fact that he moved into 25th all-time in NBA scoring, passing Jerry West, the logo. But the main thing, if there is another main thing aside from this that you'll be talking about, is that the Warriors now own sole possession of the 5th seed in the Western Conference and how huge that is going down this stretch. If the Warriors can keep up their winning ways, they got the Lakers next, and that now becomes the next biggest game of the season. If they can win against the Lakers, if they can win and then even just split against Denver and Houston, the Warriors are going to be in very, very good position to finish out this season in the playoffs and avoid the play-in, which has been the goal ever since they traded for Jimmy Butler. I mean, prior to that, this team, hard to imagine how just mid this team was prior to Jimmy Butler and how much adding this one guy revolutionized this team. And it helped, obviously. Adding Jimmy Butler is going to help just by his presence. But it also made Steph so much better. It also made Draymond so much better. It inspired this whole team, especially those two guys, to get up and go for it because they knew that with the addition of Jimmy, it was time to turn it on, and turn it on they did. And I mean, this whole season has been such a weird microcosm in the Steph Curry era because it featured so many low lows and so many high highs now at this point. This team, I've been saying it ever since they went on that win streak after acquiring Jimmy. I 100% believe Draymond Green when he says that they believe they can win a championship. There's no reason not to believe. Look at this game that they just played tonight. They were able to run the Grizzlies out of their own building, scored 45 points in the first quarter, most they've ever scored or not ever, but most points that they've scored in a single quarter for this season. And the Warriors they did that in their last time out too. They had 2 quarters of over 40 points, had, set the prior high water mark at 44 in their prior outing. And now tonight they do it with 45. I mean, this team is getting better and better and better as the playoffs approach. Before we get out of here tonight, we got to bring you the turning point of tonight's game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And we're going with the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter because the Warriors started hitting 3-point barrages. I mean, really, after Jaren Jackson Jr. fouled out in this one, it became a completely different game for what the Warriors were getting with about 2 minutes left, even with about 2:50 left. When Steph hit his 12th three of the game, put him over the 50-point mark. Then Jaren Jackson Jr. fouled out. Warriors kept on pushing. Brandon Podziemski with probably the biggest bucket of his career, the tip in with 1:11 left to put the Warriors up 5. And then next possession, Jimmy just takes it away, strips it right out of Ja's hands on a drive to the rim with about 1 minute left. Moody pulls up and hits a 3 at the other end to put the Warriors up 8. And from there on out, it was just all Warriors. I mean, they did a really good job because the Grizzlies had a very, very, very good attack of their own. I mean, John Morant, 36 points, Jaren Jackson Jr., 22 points, Desmond Bane, 19 points, even Santi Aldama had 18 off the bench. So this Grizzlies team was really giving the Warriors all they could handle. Zach Edey had 16 points or 16 rebounds and 10 points. Like, this Grizzlies team was doing a great job pushing the Warriors tonight, and the Warriors responded every step of the way. This is what a playoff team does. They've figured out how to flip that switch with this team. We've seen them do it before, man. 2022. Look at the hat if you're watching on YouTube. The Warriors went on that run after they flipped that switch late in the season, and they are doing the same damn thing now. Warriors, putting the league on notice. If you weren't already on notice, you better take notice now. So the Golden State Warriors with the biggest win of the season. We got to get on out of here. Steph Curry, 52 points. You are ridiculous. We got to do a Locked On Giants postcast now. So make sure you tune into that on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel or on the Locked On Giants podcast feed, wherever you're getting your podcast. Don't miss it. And also make sure to check out the Locked On Warriors Daily Show. They are doing great work over there for more in-depth coverage. That's all the time we got for you guys tonight. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.